good morning and welcome to this wonderful special webinar, Thriving in the Time of Adversity. I am so excited to have you all this morning here, and really thank you for joining us. Me and my co-hosts Heather and Mandana, we are three coaches and we decided to come together for this webinar so that we are able to help you and help everyone who needs some sort of a support or some help during these difficult times. So before we start, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Swapna. I am an international best-selling author. I'm a professional speaker. I'm a certified Canfield trainer and a transformational coach, along with my two beautiful, wonderful co-hosts, Heather and Mandana. So I would let Heather, would you like to introduce yourself now?
Certainly. I'm Heather Edgington, and I also am an author of a book called Become Your Dream. It's never too late to love your life. And I'm going to be talking today about those kinds of things because we have time to do all sorts of growth that we've never had before. And I've been teaching for 30 years, and I just love helping people discover their passion and purpose in life because it took me a long time to discover mine. So I'm here and I'm so delighted to be here. Mandana, you go on.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Swapna and Heather. Hello everyone, my name is Mandana and I'm also an author, speaker and an award-winning women's empowerment coach. And I'm so delighted to be with you here. I've gone through a lot of challenges in my life, and I've learned one thing: you survive, you thrive, and you get better through the adversity. If you have the mindset for it, and if you know how to use that for the further in your life. So we are here today to have some time with you and share, our life experiences, our wisdom, and so happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, excellent. So
before we go on, I just wanted to say hi to Portia, who's just joined us all the way from Texas. And
Portia, wow, good to
Portia,
have
you can, if you click on the chat button at the bottom of the screen, you'll be able to, and click all panelists and attendees. You can talk to us all from there.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Ina. I see Ina. I was struggling with my camera. Hi, Ina, welcome. And I see Veronica. Hi, Veronica. Thank you for joining. Welcome.
Excellent. All right. So what we have done for today is we have, each one of us, we have sort of prepared 3 topics that we would like to touch on. This is just scratching the surface because we also have future conversations that will be happening. We will also be going into certain online workshops and trainings from now on, just to help everyone and stay connected as well. But so we are just going to touch base upon 3 topics each, and I hope everyone on this call will definitely benefit from these topics. So I'm going to be starting. I'll start sharing my screen so everyone can see my slides. Give me 1 second here. Right. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. All right. All right, so do you all see my slide?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Wonderful. So this is the topic of our webinar today, Thriving in the Time of Adversity. And like I said, this is with my co-hosts Heather and Mandana. Heather, like she introduced, she's a dream mastery coach. Mandana is a woman empowerment coach, and I'm a certified success coach. So a little bit about me. like I introduced myself before, I'm an international best-selling author. I'm a professional speaker and a transformational coach. This is my book that I've written, and I've won an award for this book. It's called Your Journey Within: 7 Powerful Steps to Create the Life You Deserve. The foreword was written by Raymond Aaron. He's also my mentor. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Now, through this book, I have given my best to help people who are struggling, but at the same time, they have certain goals that they want to achieve and certain visions that they want to be able to fulfill in their life. They want to create that life that they've always desired. So this book will help you take from where you are to where you want to be. This is my mentor, Jack Canfield. I'm a certified trainer in the Success Principles, which means I am now trained by Jack to be able to teach his principles. And that's what I do. I do a lot of trainings, online, offline. Before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, I did a lot of trainings around GTA. I had my own workshops, and that's what I help people with. I help them become successful in their life, in their business, whether it be for any family issues, business, relationships, by using these principles, because these principles are so powerful that they can be used in any phase of your life. So this is my mentor, Jack. I hope most of you know who Jack is, but for those who don't, Jack Canfield is the co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. And he's also written the Success Principles book. And he's recently, actually this week, he came up with a workbook, the Success Principles. And this is actually the secret for my success. I do associate with a lot of mentors like Bob Proctor, Robert Allen, Brian Tracy, Dr. Ivan Meisner, Raymond Aaron. We keep ourselves within this community so that it not only keeps us inspired and motivated, but we can pass it on to other people as well. But let me tell you briefly, it wasn't always like this. Me and my husband, we immigrated to Canada. Wow, it's going to be exactly 20 years tomorrow, April 5th.
Wow.
Yes, I know, I just realized April 5th, 2000 is when we immigrated to Canada from India. And it was just the two of us then. We just came literally with 2 bags full of clothes. And we decided to call Canada our home. Of course, there were a lot of struggles at the beginning. My background is I'm a registered physiotherapist back home, and I'm still registered in Canada. And so is my husband. So I had to take up a lot of courses through Ryerson University and other universities. And there was a lot of struggle at the beginning, but I emerged as a winner. And this is the message actually I want to spread today is this phase of the pandemic hitting us. Let's take this as a challenge. Let's not be afraid of what's going on around us. And Heather and Mandana are going to be speaking a lot more about fear and anxiety. And, but that's what it is. It's a phase of life, and we all have to embrace what's going on around us. We have to emerge as winners. I was honored, and I was tremendously fortunate to have shared stage with the legend himself, Mr. Brian Tracy. What a wonderful, wonderful man. I got to learn from him a lot. I soaked up all the knowledge I could from him. That is the picture of him and his wife. Such wonderful people. This is the book I co-authored with him. This is my husband, Amit, and we have co-authored the book, The Secret to Wealth, with Mr. Brian Tracy. All right, so this is the topic I really want to focus on for this morning. It's called Taking Responsibility for Your Life in These Adverse Times. Now, having said that, it seems very easy for most people. They would say, yeah, responsibility. Of course I have to take responsibility, but it's literally a really hard one to really understand what that means. What it really means is you have to give up all the blaming, all the complaining, all the excuse making, and just remember that everything that happens in your life, you have created those things happening. And once you totally get it, you will be able to uncreate and then you can recreate. So also how to respond proactively and get a desirable outcome, and how can you take back control of your family life in this crisis? These are the three topics I just want to touch base on, because I am a mother of two wonderful, wonderful children, a 16 and a 9-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl. And being home with them, I am also seeing the challenges they are facing. And it is for them that I have to maintain my calmness. I have to not be anxious about what's going around, because you know what? They will be affected easily. So those of you who are on call, who have family, who have loved ones that you need to take care of, dependents, your parents, your grandparents, it's really important for us to be very calm during these times. So whenever I have taken up, these workshops and trainings, a lot of people come back to me and say, how can I possibly be 100% responsible for what happens? But I say, okay, what if you were just to act as if you were 100% responsible? What if you just take 5% more responsibility for your life right now? What if you were to eat better? What if you were to spend more time with your kids? What if you were to be able to take at least 5% more responsibility for your health? Boost up your immune system. You're staying home. This is the perfect time to do that. What if you were to take 5% more responsibility if you're in your business or a job? So just think of the possible ways you can do that. And like I said before, I'm going to be digging deep much more into this as we go along in our subsequent sessions. But this is what I want you to start thinking. How can you do that right now? And if you're already doing that, I really applaud you. Congratulations, you are on the right path. So this is a very, very, very important formula I learned from my mentor, Jack. It is E plus R equals O. I'm not sure how many people know this formula, but if you have heard it already, it's always good to recap this, because this is so important. This actually, knowing this formula has changed my life. And it has changed hundreds of lives of people who are aware of this wonderful formula, and they have started putting this together in their life. So what happens is we have events coming in our life, right? Events like this, the pandemic, COVID-19, it's a huge event that's happening around the globe. And then we respond to those events, and that will produce the outcomes. So if you respond in a positive way, if you respond in a response by taking responsibility, you will get a better outcome, as opposed to being afraid, of being anxious, of having hysterical responses. This will actually produce the outcome you desire, right? So unfortunately, when things don't go right, people start blaming the event. Everyone all around us are blaming the pandemic. They are blaming the government. So if you want to have a different outcome, you have to change your response. Because guess what? Right now, the world, if you want 2 + 2 = 4, and the world is not doing 2 to you right now, it's probably doing like 0.5, you would get an outcome of 2.5, and that's not what you want. You want a 4, right? So for either way, you have to change the way you think, the way you behave, what you talk, what you read. If you were to sit on the TV the entire day and just listen to the media all the time, guess what? That's the kind of outcome you're going to get. So this is the event that's going on. That's the coronavirus. That's the type of image we have been bombarded with day in and day out, right? So that's the event. Now, how to have a desirable outcome is how you will pivot the change. What are you doing today so that you are getting a better outcome than what you have been experiencing. You have to give up all the blaming, all the complaining, all the excuse making, stop looking out in the world and saying, if the world were different, I would be better off. I just want to make you aware that you need to come out of the victim consciousness and understand that you're at cause in this world. And it is up to you to be able to see the betterment of this world and yourself. You have to give up all the blaming. How many of us in the last, 2 months has blamed our president, the government, our prime minister, has blamed the coronavirus, has blamed China for doing this to us? But really, blaming really does not get you anywhere. It just makes you feel like a victim more than anything. Blaming is an ineffective response that keeps you powerless. That's all blaming does. People, let's look at complaining. People only complain about things that are changeable. Why? Because when you complain, means you have a reference point of something you prefer that you're not willing to risk creating that. That's why people complain, okay? So focus on what you want, not what you don't want, okay? Because we know that what you give attention to grows. If you focus on fear, anxiety, and hysteria, guess what? That's what you're going to get. But if you focus on love, kindness, hope, positivity, it will not only change you, but you will be able to transfer it out to your family, your society, your community, and eventually into the world. So you need to focus on your vision and not your current condition. There are 3 responses you have control over. 3 responses. The thoughts you think, the images that you create in your mind, both in terms of the pictures that go on in your head, which are strictly fed by all the social media and all the news, the TV, and also your beliefs, your subconscious beliefs, and your behavior, the way you act into the world. How do you talk with others? What is it that you're projecting out? If you are active on social media, what is it that you're putting out? Are you putting out a lot of negative news? Or are you trying to induce hope in others? Because let me tell you, there are a lot of people who are scared out there. And we are trying to form a community that will help not only ourselves, but will be able to help others as well. You have the power within you to create the reality by focusing your intention and your thoughts only on what you want. And I'm going to end and leave you with this amazing quote by Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer was one of the topmost leading, they call him the grandfather of the personal development transformational industry. And he said that with everything that has happened to you, you can either feel sorry for yourself or treat what has happened as a gift. Everything is either an opportunity to grow or an obstacle to keep you from growing. You get to choose. Yes, my friends, you always have a choice. That's one thing I have learned through all these years of learning with all these great mentors. My mentor, Jack, he always says that we always have a choice. No matter where we are in life, we have a choice. Yes, there are certain consequences that we need to, go through if we get to choose, if we do like bad choices, but we always have a choice. So what do you choose today? Do you choose love and happiness, or do you choose fear and anxiety? And that's, my friends, that's going to actually dictate the outcome and the life that you're going to create for yourself. So that's it from me. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're on this call. And now I will stop sharing my screen and I'm going to hand it over to Heather, and let's see what Heather's thoughts are on this and how she can help us today. Heather, on to you.
Thank you very much. Swapna, that was amazing. That really helped me to understand and refine in my mind how important responsibility and response are, because that's going to turn around everything. Panelists, I do want to say to you, if you click on the bottom of the screen again, when it's full screen with the slides, if you can still click on chat. So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat while this is going on, and that might help you. I do want you to jump in and ask any questions, because we will be trying to answer as many questions as you have as we go through this webinar today. And I'm so happy to see people are still joining. Thank you so much for coming in and being with us. All righty, and if you're ready, I am just going to share my screen now and start on what I've got to talk about. And share. And it's not doing it. What do I need to do? Okay. I do want to talk about, and I started there, about us thriving and the opportunity we have to really thrive in this time of adversity. My name is Heather Edgington, if you don't know me, and I am a life mastery coach and a dream builder coach. Look at me playing with my slides. Hands up so I can't play with my slides. I have helped many people to build their dreams and refine what it is they would love to do with themselves. And Swapna and Amit were some of my clients, and I'm really honored that now I'm co-teaching with Swapna because she activated her dream. By activating your dream, I mean, if you take a credit card, you get a credit card in the mail and it's got all the potential there. You can buy so many things and do so many things with that credit card. But until you call in and activate your dream, nothing is happening. So activate that card. You've got to activate. So that's what I'm helping people doing. I am the author of the award-winning book, Become Your Dream. It's never too late to love your life. And I'm a co-author of a book called Radiantly Senior. And one of my aspects of talking to you today is because as of next week, I'll be 69 years old in my 70th year, which is just simply unbelievable to me. But all the things that they talk about in this time of what to do about Corona is if you're over 70, and I feel very close to that range. So I'm looking at it from that point of view. I have done all my classes towards a doctorate in education, and I've been teaching people for 30 years how to change their lives and learn more in this world. So let's talk about this. I don't know why my slides are jumping like that. Okay. First thing, what are you worried about? We're all worried about things. I see on Facebook people saying, oh, I'm not worried about anything. I don't buy that particularly. I think maybe we've all got something we're worrying about, even if it's toilet paper. Look at that list. You know, are you worried because your kids aren't in school? Your daughter's complaining that she's not going to have a prom and she's graduating. You know, how are you going to get your hair cut or dyed? How are you going to make decisions? What decisions? You've been laid off from your job. How are you going to pay your rent or your mortgage? All of those things are so running on your brain. And the big ones are, sorry about the slides. The big ones are, how long is this going to last? How long? Interestingly, we watched China go through this for 3 months. They are just pulling out of it. And yet When they came on the news and said, it'll all be over in 2 weeks, we believed it. And now they're going, oh, excuse me, we think that it's going to be all of April. Well, it might be all of May, and it might go into June. We don't know. And that's running in our minds. How bad is it going to get? In Ontario, we were going, oh, we're all pretty good shape. And then the medical staff and the premier came on yesterday and go, well, we could expect way more deaths than we expected. So we don't know. It's sitting there. It's sitting there in. And the big one is what if? What if it affects my family and who I love? What if it affects me? Those are just the scary, scary things. So we've got to look at that. We've got to look at the effects of anxiety. And again, I apologize, my slides, it's operator error. It's not my slides. I'm doing something wrong. I'm sorry, I keep doing it. I take that responsibility, Swapna. Okay, stress is designed, short-term stress is designed to help you act in an emergency right now. You have all heard the stories of a mother whose child is trapped under a car wheel and she has lifted the car and saved the child. Your body and your mind, the adrenaline rush is designed to do that fast. But long-term anxiety is there, and it seems to be mostly when things seem to be out of your control. The world is changing and you can't do anything about it. People my age are not going out at all. I'm connected with people in Canada, in the States, and a lot of people in England, and people my age are self-isolating. They are not seeing their grandchildren. They are not seeing their parents who are in retirement homes. And it's frustrating and scary. And that's what they're trying to not let overwhelm them, but it does overwhelm you. You've got to overcome that, because if you let that stress, anxiety, fear, terror overcome you, one thing can happen. That stress can start to look like illness. That stress can start to look like your immune system is weakening, and it is. You've got to start overcoming the stress. The symptoms of anxiety and stress can be nausea and headaches and lack of focus. Those are the same symptoms as this virus. So that increases your anxiety. Oh my gosh, maybe I've got it. What if this is it? You've got to look at what you can do, because if you don't, another aspect of stress is that you've got an increased risk of infection. You've heard that before about high stress jobs, and it increases your risk of infection. We got to work on that. In the levels of anxiety, mild anxiety, and these are just, I'm not a doctor, these are things that I have just researched and I'm looking at. But mild is that you're irritable. A little bit of stress and anxiety, you're irritable. Moderate is where a lot of people are right now. They focus on the problem all the time. I go on the phone to look at the statistics and it's like, oh my God. Sometimes I do feel my heart is tight, or I'm feeling a little, not right. I've been taking more antacid pills, honestly. So, but if it is severe, you can start having a pounding heart, you can start having erratic thoughts. And if you get into full-blown panic, you're frozen and you can do nothing, especially when you need to do something most. So in my opinion, some of the things you can do, one of the easiest is diaphragm breathing. Just slowly breathe. If you just take your hand and breathe in, and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Just slowly breathing, just the time it takes you to do your hand, it might help you. Meditation is huge in calming your mind. And of course, if you know me, dancing is my solution for everything. So I am in my kitchen dancing. Yesterday I was dancing to I Feel Fine. Do, 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 do. Do whatever it takes. Being grateful is huge, and keeping in touch with whatever form of higher power you are in touch with, all of those help. The vitamins I hear can help are what I've listed there, and magnesium, healthy eating can do it, and it might be that essential oils and lots of natural products are helping you. Just remember what it is that works for you and do that. Help yourself to get rid of the anxiety. Of course, the reality is that it could be that you can get rid of your anxiety by just not feeling guilty about eating a lot more, because you might have to live off your own bad body fat. So just allow it. Have zero guilt and enjoy life. One of the other things about anxiety, it's the I just want to point out the 5 stages of grief. You've heard about them before. But right now, we went through 3 months of denial while we watched China. Some people are now in anger and bargaining. Oh, it's okay if I go out. It won't get me. Eventually, they might hit into depression. But we all need to go through these steps to acceptance just as quickly as we can, because once we accept this situation, we can accept we're in a boot camp, ready to move on for something else. Remember that a positive mind finds opportunity in everything, and a negative mind finds problems everywhere. Try and keep the positive. In the movie Rocky, he said, "Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done, and that's what we've got to be doing." So in order to keep moving forward, remember that your best use of imagination is creativity, is learning, is expanding your mind, and your worst use of imagination is terror. Just try to keep your focus on the positive. And don't allow other people bully you about how you should be dealing with this. You're allowed to laugh and have fun. You're allowed to relax. You're allowed to chill and watch Netflix. You don't have to achieve the world, but you are also allowed to deep dive learning into something new. If nothing else, just stay home and wash your hands. These are just some things. I'm not going through a lot, but take care of yourself. That's a large part of pushing past anxiety, is taking care of yourself through pleasure or mindfulness or curiosity of learning something new. I am a huge fan of all the free things we can be learning out there right now. There are free apps to learn another language. There's free apps to learn a musical instrument. There's free apps to wander through the museums of the world. I just found one. There's a free app to become certified as a wine taster. Oh my God, What would you love to be doing? I bet you can find it. So right now, you may be in the fear zone. Are you complaining? Are you forwarding all the messages you see? Are you feeling the emotions, or have you stepped into the learning zone? Because this is a boot camp of changing our world. Have you changed into a level that you're aware of this situation and you think about how you act? Are you evaluating the information before you gossip about false news? I put a false thing on Facebook this morning. Somebody called me on it within about 2 minutes and I took it down. I actually thought it was true because it came from what I thought was a reliable source. Be aware of that, just be aware. And eventually move into the growth zone. So you're happy and adapting to new changes and being patient and living in the present and focusing on the future. Knowing how many people have passed away in a country on the other side of the world adds nothing to your day. Just focus on what your world is and what you can do something about. So now, I suggest you use this time for your dream. What would you love your life to be? What is your dream? What is your passion? What is your purpose in life? What is your why? These are all questions I deal with a lot in my coaching. And now that you have the time, what can you start doing to step forward with those things? Maybe now is the time that you should take the chance. If you want to become your dream, what do you need to know? Is there a skill you need to learn? What do you need to have? Is there something you need to gather and make happen? What do you need to be able to do? Do you need to be able to help other people? Look at those things and start taking baby steps. All of this anyway will help you focus your brain, and it'll keep you calmer if you can just work on that. So if by the end of this strange new world phase, because we don't know, I think it's going to change us all for a long time. If at the end you haven't taken time to learn a skill or develop a new attitude, or to care more for yourself and your loved ones, then maybe you're just happy with the way your life is, exactly the way it is. And I am so happy for you. But if you want more, if you think maybe there's more, maybe you could continue with Mandana and Swapna and I as we continue more of these presentations. This is Mother Earth. I want you to consider how quickly she has changed. Mother Earth, the universe, higher spirit, the world is changing. The canals in Venice are clear. Dolphins have started to come from the sea into the canals because they are clear. A friend pointed out this morning that in India, the Himalayas are visible from 300 miles away. Generations of people did not know the mountains were visible from their cities until the pollution has cleared just recently. I have been teaching, I teach every morning to little kids who live in China. I teach them English. They haven't been outside their house in 3 months. That's what we're heading for. Not 2 weeks, not another couple of weeks. They're starting back to school next week. We have a huge opportunity to learn, to grab something new. And that's what I'm inviting you to do. Learn something new and just love your life every day. I'm going to stop sharing my slides and we're going to go on to what Mandana has to share. Hi.
Hello. Thank you, Heather, for that beautiful insight. I was really enjoying your earth slide and all the beauty that is coming to our world as a result of this slowdown of
It
life.
is. There's big benefits coming to our world because of this.
Yes, yes. The pollution has decreased so much. There is quieter life. When I go out in Toronto, I live in a busy street. So the city is not dead or quiet, it's just slow. When I go to Younger Street, it's slow. And I don't miss that busyness. I don't. So I realized I really need more slow and quiet time. That's an insight that I got. Okay, so my turn. I'm going to share my screen with you. What I'm going to, before I do that, I just want to tell you a little bit about overview about what I'm going to share with you. And I ask you to keep your questions coming in for Heather and Swapna. We will have a chance at the end to respond to some of the questions as much as we have time. And as I do go through my presentation, if there is something that you're really struggling with at the moment, please feel free to put it in the chat box and we try to help you as much as we can. If you have limited time, first come, first serve. Maybe the first two individuals who put their question or the issue that they are dealing with, we will be happy to give you some help and support around that. So I'm going to share my screen now. 1 second. Okay. Can you see my screen? Great. Okay, I'm going to make this full and make sure this is moving. Okay, great. I'm just going to go back. So before I get to my content, I'm going to give you a little bit about myself. My name is Mandana. I was initially trained as a medical doctor in Iran, and that's why you see that title doctor in front of my name. But then I voluntarily changed my career to something that I thought is bringing more justice and more social equity to the world. I will tell you more about that. And I'm also an author, speaker, and an award-winning women's empowerment coach. I have founded a women's group called the Flourishing Women's Circle. And as I said, a big thing in my soul and heart is advocating for change for a more just and fair world. As such, I have a career in nonprofit sector and I advocate for social justice and equity. My dream in my women's empowerment work is to have my own foundation, which funds girls' education globally, empowering women to be financially independent in any ways that they want, and also creating transitional affordable housing for women who are in transition. And when I talk about transition, transition can be relationship transition, it can be transition in health, it can be transition in your employment. You might be in between job, lose job, not have a job as a result of a health issue or immigration. I've gone through a lot of these challenges. I will talk to you further in my slides. So I know how it feels, and my passion is to help women to stand strong in those difficult years and build their life again after the transition. This is my upcoming book, The Flourishing Woman, Live a Life of Passion, Purpose, and Beauty. Through my group, Flourishing Women Circle, and all my coaching, I follow the principle that I'm trying to explain in this book. These are some of the awards and achievements that I've received. I was honored to receive the award for 10 Inspirational Women and Queens Rising Together in Toronto, May 2019. Susan B. Anthony Feminine Leadership Award in August 2019. And this is the award that I really enjoyed the most. And this was just about a month at the beginning of this month. I can't believe like a month ago, we go out to awards and parties. This was just March 7th, not even a month before. He still was in a big banquet hall, eating with other people, having parties. Wow, how far that looks like now. But this is, I got the award for Women of Worth, and this was mostly for the work I did with the Flourishing Women's Circle. And a fun fact about me, I love modeling. I get crazy about cloth modeling. These are two pictures of me modeling. And that's one of the way I try to create more fun in my quite structured life. I have a job and I have a part-time coaching business. It takes a lot of time, so I have to find in between. Okay, and a little bit further to my life story. These are some of the struggles that I've gone through. 16 years ago, just before I come to Canada, I decided to voluntarily change my career from being a medical doctor because I realized I'm not enjoying clinical work, and to me, it did not tackle the root causes of ill health, which was social injustice. So I had to make a hard decision to put that glamorous career aside and start something else, something very unknown, no certainty in it. I didn't know where I'm working. I had to deal with pressure from my family and my community. No one was happy with my decision, and I didn't have an answer, a very kind of what I'm going to even do. I just started the journey, put aside what I didn't want in life, and started something uncertain. And when Heather was talking about we don't know how this is going to take, I had no clue where I'm going to go and how long this journey is going to take. I just took a leap of faith and started. Then 14 years ago, in the middle of that confusion, I immigrated to Canada with no savings, just the basic to come as a landed immigrant. And I did not start as a doctor, as you know. I started 2 part-time jobs in retail industry. Actually, 2 of them at the first day, and then I was working 4 part-time jobs for a year and a half in retail, in medical office, and other places, just to put myself, my foot in the door. I think Swapna said she has been here for 20 years tomorrow. I'm going to be here for 14 years, July 8th. 2020. Hopefully by then we can be out and celebrate, but it's going to be my 14th day of immigration. And the first year of immigration, because of all the struggle that I have to go to make the change and to make change my career, my husband at the time was not with me. I was on my own. I had to live on my own for the first time. And I missed back home and all other challenges that I was going through. It took me to anxiety and depression, which I have a very strong family history for. And I actually, using some of the techniques that I'm going to share with you, I helped myself to get out of that. We have a very established history of anxiety and depression in our family. My family members has been on medication for a long time for this condition. So that was a big, huge fear for me that I'm going to go through that route. And 10 years ago, I got separated from my ex-husband, and I stayed separated for 5 years. I did not date or had any relationship. I was just focusing on myself, building myself from inside out, and trying to live a happy life without being in a relationship, which was a huge challenge for me. And the separation and divorce was very, very emotional. I was very much in love. I had a hard time. It was like dying and coming to love, coming back to life again. So I had a lot of learning through that experience ago as well. And 5 years ago, actually, I got divorced after 20 years of marriage. And I actually struggled with my finances for a long time as a result of immigration, separation, losing physical and mental health to some degree. And also all the emotional turmoil that I was going through didn't let me to work and create enough. So I had financial challenges for a long time. And please remember that I came from Iran. So I'm the survivor of a revolution and 8 years of war and sanction and lack of access to essential supplies and food. And that's something that I grew up with. So moving on, I felt myself about 6-7 years ago, this was my condition. I just felt I'm drowning and I really needed help, someone to get me out of this situation. So when Swapna was talking about take responsibility for life, I was looking around. Yes, there were my family. Yes, there were my friends, but no one could take responsibility for me. I could use them as a resource. I could reach out for help, but I was the one that have to either help myself or just get drawn in all the struggle and trauma that I was going through. And if I learned one thing from all this struggle, is that human beings are resilient, very, very resilient. We are much, much stronger than what we think. And we can bounce back from many, many things that we have never even thought that we can experience or be through. So that was my biggest learning. And what is resiliency? I think resiliency is what we need to develop, the basic quality that we need to develop. We all have it as a human being. The first sign of resiliency is that we get sick and we recover. That's the first sign of resiliency. So our body is very, very resilient. And if you let our body to function properly, just feed it properly, give enough amount of exercise, do not intervene with body function, with stressing it too much or like exhausting it, it will recover. So we have the foundation of resiliency in our mind and in our body. And resiliency, based on what the regular definition of resiliency is, bouncing back from adversity. If when we go through difficulty, it's, we stretch a lot, and then we can come back. Basically, the message this definition conveys to me is that we just come back to where we are. But based on my life experience, what I've learned is that we don't just come back to become what we were before. We become bigger and better. We expand through all these experiences. And these so-called experiences that we call them adversity or difficulty in life, I don't like to call them adversity. To me, they are all experiences and challenge. Challenge means something that helps us to expand, to test ourselves. We can have fun, like even when we go to a let's say scary park, or we do an adventurous experience. We know there might be some risk, we know there is some difficulty, some hurdle that we have to go over, but there is this sense of excitement and this sense of expansion. Oh, I'm gonna show strength. I'm gonna find something new. I'm gonna get over this. And we can create the same excitement and fun when we are dealing with the life challenges. So that's the meaning of resiliency to me, having open heart and open arms to every challenge and struggle that we face with. Look at it as an opportunity, how we can make the best out of it, how we can enjoy the experience, as Heather said, not focus on negative, focus on positives, and get to know and get to learn about the potentials and the strength that we always have and we didn't even know about. We had no clue. Based on the person I was 15 years ago, at the very first years of my marriage, without my husband, I would die. That's exactly how I felt. And when I had to go through that experience and live my life, I didn't know I can survive and I can even have a very happy and flourishing life. But I wouldn't have chosen it. Maybe I didn't have the strength at time to design this experience for myself, but universe brought me that, threw me lemon, and then taught me how to make lemon and lemonade out of that lemon. So that's exactly what we need to do if we have hardship, anxiety, panic, disappointment. Those are the kind of feeling and experience that we need to look at. Okay, so I call this flourishing in a new land, and land doesn't mean necessarily a piece of earth. Land is a new place that we are in life. Let's say we were in a relationship, we were married, and now we eventually, like all of a sudden, we find ourselves out of a relationship, a breakup, loss of a husband, or whatever else that might happen. We had a safe, well-paying career, and all of a sudden we find ourselves in a new place that we can't do that career, or we lost our job, or the sector changed. This is a new land. Now we have to figure out what we're going to do. We were living with our loved one. All of a sudden they leave. We become an empty nester. How we are going to deal with this new situation, enjoy it, and best out of it, and make the best out of it. That's the new land. And how to turn life challenges to a strong engine for our growth and become resilient. That's the whole purpose of this talk. And as Heather mentioned, how to use this opportunity to further our life and build the life of our dream. And that's exactly what I've done through many of the challenges that I have faced in my life. These are some of the examples. I built my successful career in community development through my immigration challenges. When I came here, I already quit as a medical doctor, and I had no clue to do. So I'm going to go to the next slide. These are some of the pictures of my community development work. This is Canada 150th award ceremony. And this is a picture of me and two of their leaders in the neighborhood that I support. They all got the award for the accomplishment and the work that they did. And I got award for supporting them. So that's the kind of work I do. They help seniors, children, women in the neighborhood, and start project and do neighborhood improvement work, and I support them. I built this career. This is another work done by youth in front of my workplace. It's a mural artwork that shows equity, unity, and thriving for more in City of Toronto. And these are kind of the work that I support in my community development career. I'm going to go back to my first slide. So I developed this career in my years of immigration. I will show you in the next slide. I worked 9 part-time job and contract in a matter of 3 years in City of Toronto. I was constantly applying and changing up between every 3 to 6 months. I was starting a new job. And that was really, really difficult because I had a very stable career when I was back home. So I had to adjust to this new change. I started my successful coaching business during my separation time. Heather is my dream building coach. We have a beautiful story that maybe if you join our group after this, we will share with you, but she helped me in that journey. And also Swapna, she was also one of the groups that motivated me and encouraged me. And I started my Flourishing Women group, which came out of my desire and my search for sense of belonging in Canada, and through my difficult years of health challenge to create that supportive community outside of myself, which give me that fulfillment and connection for me. So I'm going to show you a picture of, these are some of the pictures of my coaching work, and this is a picture of Flourishing Women's Circle. Go back again. And I also got extreme degree of fulfillment, positive energy, and happiness in life. For me, sitting here and talking to you like this at this difficult time, 10 years ago was like, what? I just had to, the most important thing, the most thing I could do at that time was to keep my mood up, not to get to anxiety and depression. That's the most I was able to do, and sometimes wasn't even successful in that. And a successful love life out of my learning from in my separation years. I told you I stayed separated for 5 years, no dating, no relationship, just focusing on my life, my identity, and who I am. And that helped me to find an amazing relationship right after that, instant result that comes with the manifestation. So now I wanted to talk about some of the techniques and learnings that I had during these years, and I always had great coaches. As Swapna mentioned, I didn't put a lot of pictures. I'm not as organized as Swapna, but I have some of those some of those coaches that Swapna had: Raymond Aaron, Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor. Oh, they're all people that I follow. I listen to their talk and I learn techniques. So using wisdom and knowledge from the people who already have got up there and have gone the journey, has been a big thing. I remember even when I was at age even 20, I was looking at mentoring Iran. It wasn't easy. We didn't have this kind of structure for coaching and mentorship in Iran. But I was always looking. If I saw someone was a little bit older than me, had a wisdom, I just felt, I said, can you help me? Can you give me some insight? So that's something I can mention as #1 thing that has helped me over these years. But these are some of the my insight that I put together for you from all the conditions that I've gone through myself and my learning. So the first thing that I can talk about is deal with the emotion first. And I think Heather mentioned, what is the biggest emotion that everyone is dealing right now? It's panic, it's fear, it's confusion, it's uncertainty. So before we get those feelings under control, there is nothing else we can do. That's the most important thing. And is not to ignore them or judge them or call them bad or unnecessary. Is to really get the nature of them and turn them to something different. How am I doing with time, Swapna and Heather? How much time I have? Show me the number again, Heather. I can't hear you, but okay, a few minutes.
You're on mute, Heather. There.
Yeah.
5 minutes? Okay. So I'm gonna because I wanted to try something with you, but I can't see the chat box because I'm on my slide right now. But I give you an experience. If you have a negative emotion, let's say not negative emotion that ungrounds you, I won't call it negative, an emotion that ungrounds you. Let's say anxiety. I have dealt with anxiety a lot in my life, so I know how ungrounding it is. And Heather went really deep into that and dig deep about what kind of impact it creates in our life. How we can deal with anxiety. One of the techniques is, as Heather spoke about, breathing techniques and meditation and focusing on positive. Those are very, very important techniques. One thing that helps us is connecting with our intuition. We all have this intuition, which is we usually forget about. We have this feeling and this connection with the bigger universe that we can use and we can recall. And a lot of us, unfortunately, have lost touch with that as a result of modern life, too much stress and too fast-paced life. We have lost touch with those. With that intuition piece. And one of the things that he helps us to bring that intuition, going into a quiet time and silence and journaling about the emotion, putting them on the paper, and then connecting, and then going into that quiet space and connecting with the feelings. And then you will find the answer and the calmness and the quiet and grounding. I use this when as you know, growing up in a single mom family, I had a lot of anxiety. Oh, if my mom doesn't come back one day to home, what will happen to me? And I brought that into my life, into my marriage. I was always controlling my husband, calling him, where are you? I'm concerned, I'm upset. Why didn't you call me? What happened to you? Maybe he's killed, maybe he's in a car accident or something. And I started practicing this technique, and it really helped me. I can say in the past 5 years, I can't remember I have got worried for anyone, maybe one time. But that was my practice like 5-6 times a day. So as you practice and as you do it more often, you will get more results. And I can help you with that more if you have more time. Looking at your life bigger picture. Heather spoke about your dream, looking at your life purpose rather than focusing on, okay, what we lost in our everyday life, we can go out, we can do this, we can see our loved one. What is our bigger picture of life? Finding that dream and taking the steps toward that. And creating your support army. I can't stress enough on this. I already spoke about mentors and how important is having mentors in life. Connecting with family and friends, that really makes a huge difference. And also creating your success team. Success team is not your family and friends. They can be part of it, or they can be overlapped, but it's not necessarily the same thing. Success team are people who are committed to keeping you healthy and happy and well and strong and sharp for what your life purpose is. They could be mentors, they could be your practitioners, health practitioners, naturopath, your counselor. They can be colleagues from work, people who support you in your career or professional journey. All those are success team. And staying connected with success team is very, very important, because there are times that our loved ones are going through a struggle or they don't relate with our dream. So having that group of expertise makes a huge difference. I don't think I can talk about everything. There is 10 techniques here, but one thing that I want to talk about is nurturing your soul with art and music. I know Heather already spoke about dancing. I saw Amy said she is starting a certificate in creative dancing or something like that. That's amazing. So creativity gives us the most satisfaction at these times that we can't really get a lot of satisfaction from external sources. So we see so many baking and bread making and all kind of things happening, appearing on social media and Facebook. People start drawing, people start making, sewing, doing things. That's the most important thing. And also music. Music is such a comfort to soul. So please use that more often. And two more things is giving. If you can volunteer doesn't mean you have to go out and run around. You can sit in your comfort of your home. You can coordinate a helpline to help, to deliver food for seniors. You can volunteer to talk to someone who is isolated in a senior's home from the comfort of your home by Zoom or by phone. So there is always ways that you can get creative and first of all, make yourself engaged, and with that giving, create more expansion to your soul, to your life, and that sense of fulfillment. And I can't stress this enough, stay connected to the source, any way of spirituality. If you are religious, if you follow a religion, doesn't matter what that religion is, if it's Christianity, Islam, Judaism, whatever, if you follow a spiritual path, please stick to that and do more of those, any ceremony or anything that can help you. Do more prayer, do more meditation. I think that's the most important thing. And that's what is going to bring back more of that vitality. Hopefully our Earth, planet Earth, that beautiful picture that Heather put up, is going to forgive us for what we have done to it. And with our prayer and our sacrifices and our positive energy. So if we all become more resilient, resiliency is not a place to get, it's a journey, it's a spectrum. We just move forward. Every day we can become more and more resilient. When we become more resilient human beings, we will experience more peace, more beauty and harmony, more love and compassion, more economic prosperity, and more justice, both in our internal life and in the world as a whole. So maybe that's our exercise during these tough days. This is how you can stay connected with me. You can see my contact information here. I have a Facebook page. You can find that facebook.me, The Flourishing Woman. Or go to my website, www.theflourishingwomen.com, and you see my phone number and my email. I'm responsive in any way that you reach out to me. So thank you for this. I'm going to pass on to Swapna again, and then we continue.
Thank you, Mandana. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Slides and a great presentation. And thank you to you too, Heather. I definitely learned a lot today. And I'm sure everyone on this call was really happy to hear from both of you. And we are now able to take the necessary steps, I believe, and just acknowledge the emotions, like Heather said. And we are now able to deal with these emotions in a much more effective way. So like we were saying, we would love to stay connected with you. Thanks, Heather. And you too. We would love to stay connected with you, and we would love for you to be a part of this entire mission or the community that we're trying to build. And that's why we have come up with something amazing. And Mandana, would you like to touch base on, so what we have done is we have formed an online group coaching session where the three of us will be there to help you in any possible way we can, whether it be able to improve your health in a way, or maybe even creating that dream that you've always wanted, creating that life that you've always wanted. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to do that at this moment, because we're all at home and we have so much that, in spite of being home, we have so much resources that we can connect to, and Heather and Mandana touched base upon that as well. So we would love to stay connected with you, and we have decided to work in a group coaching format. It will be spanning for 3 weeks, And Mandana, if you can just quickly brief them on what is it, what are the benefits, yeah, that they will be
I'm going to
receiving.
share a screen again.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. Okay, let me go to the next slide. Oops, 1 minute. I don't know why oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so yes, as Swapna explained, we love to stay in touch with you and to be able to personally connect with everything that you are dealing with these days. You know, we know these are like perspective, general great wisdom that was shared by my two uh, co-coaches and myself, but and when it comes to our day-to-day life, we have to deal with it every moment. So we need to really practice and get deeper in how we actually use these techniques and how we master and make it a habit for ourselves. So the purpose of this group is to really bring you that skills. If you look at my slide, to bring you knowledge, strategies, and practice on how to stay in control of your life, how to take control of your emotion and manage your emotion, because emotional control is something that comes with practice and doing it over and over. Emotion will come back to us, will hit us hard if we don't know how to control them, but we can turn them into a very strong power, because emotion has so much power to it. All the human power come from the emotion. How to turn that power instead of a destructive power to makes us to takes us to anxiety or depression, how we can turn that to something positive and create something meaningful in our life. How to shift your focus to positive and stay away from negative, because that's again constant practice. That's something that we have to constant practice and come with little techniques and ways and kind of tweaks and clues on how we can do it. Find meaning in what you are going through. That's very, very important. Many of you maybe heard from this psychologist, Dr. Viktor Frankl. He was in German Nazi camps during the World War II in a condition that maybe many of us cannot even imagine. And from his observation, the way he passed, he wrote this book, In Search of Meaning, Human Search of Meaning. And there is a lot of things that wisdom and insight that he brings, how you can find meaning. I think if we don't find meaning, if this is going to take 18 months or a year or 6 months, I don't know how long this is going to take, it's going to be difficult to stay on track, right? So it's important to find that meaning in our life and a bigger picture of perspective. And how to turn problems into opportunity. I wish we had time and we could at least do one exercise. I'm not sure we have time. Probably we have to finish at 12:30. Okay. Maybe we can do a continuing session after, but how to turn a problem into opportunity. I'll give you an example of the feeling of anger. Usually is stigmatized or labeled as a negative feeling, and when it comes, if we don't know how to stay on top of it and manage it, we are prone to violence. Violence can be just maybe yelling and screaming in our children or husband or whoever is in front of us. If it gets to a bigger degree, we can beat people, do crime. If we don't manage anger properly, it can create a lot of problem in our life. And anger has a lot of energy. Anger is an energy. If you look at your body, when the anger comes, you feel your chest expands, you breathe deeply, you feel it sudden, very high energy. And how to turn that energy into something positive and a change in life. I can share some of the experience I had. One time I really got angry toward the community I was working with, and I decided to move on to a different community. And that anger moment was my turning point. I never got back to that community, and actually I found that job and that situation that helped me to. So we can experience this, we can practice these techniques together, and how to create fun and enjoy the ride. That's the most, because again, if it's going to take a few months, if we don't create fun, it's not going to be easy to go through and all day, when creating meaning, we have to have fun. We were supposed to tell joke. What happened to that guy? Should we take turns and tell? Maybe we can tell jokes at the end. But there is so much funny pictures. I had one. It was so lovely. I wish I could have found it and put it in my slide. There was a picture of a celebrity and then a crazy hair picture. It says, This is how you look like in your profile picture, and this is how you look like in a Zoom meeting. Zoom work related meeting. It makes me laugh so hard. So really finding ways to laugh and have fun and enjoy the ride is also one of the other things that you're gonna get. So I let Swapna to talk about the structure of the event a little bit more, these 3 sessions.
Sure. Thank you, Mandana. I totally agree with the fact of laughter, because it has proven, even researchers have proved scientifically that laughter can not only help you have fun, but it also helps you boost your immune system. It is very important because at this time, that is what we have to focus on, is how can we boost our immunity, right? And laughter is one of the most amazing form, easy, inexpensive, and it's really, really amazing. So laugh all you want. I know it's not easy with all the anxiety and all the fear that's going on, but it's really important. I remember when we were back in India, we used to have in the morning something called as a laughter club. People used to come together. It was an actual club. People came together early morning at 6 a.m. and all they did for 45 minutes was laugh. That's it. Yeah, it was fascinating, and we could hear this loud noises of people laughing, and it was amazing. But it has been seen, and even in our ancient sciences and the Asian medicines that I've studied, we've known that laughter has proven to be one of the best medicines to boost your immunity. So let me start sharing my screen for one last time, and I am going to just briefly expand on what Mandana said. So we have come up with this together. It is a 3 online group coaching sessions that Heather, Mandana, and myself, we will be a part of it. Each session will be a 90-minute live session with all the 3 of us on the call. The value for this alone is $497. The reason being, each one of us, if you were to get us as coaches separately, it's pricey, let me tell you that. But the thing is, we decided, because it is the time of need and we really need to get together, and we've seen a lot of financial struggles with people having lost their jobs, having been laid off. Some of them are partly employed. So we really want this to be very affordable to everyone, but this is actually the value you will be getting. There will be a special segment for question and answers during these sessions. You can send us your questions in advance over emails. We will provide you with an email. And basically, we will be able to answer all or some of those questions in our upcoming sessions. Because today we didn't really get enough time to do that, but we would love to do that in our upcoming online group coaching sessions. We will provide you with a lot of worksheets and templates, which has been created specifically for these sessions, for this time together. We will give you these worksheets and templates, which you can work for yourself on your own time. And we would love for you to send them over to us. And then if you want, we could discuss it, or if not, you can just keep it to yourself. So the total value of these, the entire package is actually about $900, really. But because you're on this webinar, you took the time off today to be with us Saturday morning and to be on this webinar, we would love to give you an extra special bonus offer, because we know that it's not really affordable for a lot of people, especially in the times we are right now. So we want to really make this affordable to each and every one of you on this call, and many, many more. Is we are offering you a very special discounted price of this value of $900 to be only for $97 plus tax. Of course, we're in Canada, so we have to charge tax, right? So it's only a $97. It will be a 3 online group coaching sessions, and each session will be for 90 minutes. And in between those sessions as well, We will be accessible to you via emails. And then we can always stay connected. If you have any problems in between, you can always send us an email, anybody, all three of us, or even one of us. And we will do our best to answer and help you in any way that we can. So that's it. So this is what we're offering you today. This is an extremely, extremely low ball offer. It's only $97, but you will get all three of us, and you will get 3 perspectives, which will really, really help you create the life you've always desired, and from now on, be able to put this whole knowledge together and make the best for yourself. So Heather and Mandana, I would love to have you come back on the call. If you can unmute yourself.
I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome.
Hello. Yes, yes, please join us. We'd be really love to take this opportunity to stay longer with you, have a deeper connection with you, and to really support each other to not only survive.
Mandana, sorry, before you go on, there's a link. I just posted a link at the bottom. And Portia is asking whether it is USD or Canadian. It is Canadian, Portia.
Which that equals about 12 cents American right now. Kidding.
Yeah.
It's the Canadian dollar compared to the American is not great. I put that link in the chat box too. So if you can copy and paste it from there, you'll have the link. So
it is Canadian, yes. It's only 97 Canadian.
Yes. And please sign up. We love to have you. This offer is valid till end of today, Swapna?
Yes, that's right. It's valid till end of tonight, like until midnight, because
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry. Yes, offer is valid for today. Yes, so we would really love to stay connected with you, and we would really love to be with you to help you in any way we can, and be a part of our community.
Yes, and hope you can join. This is only for people who were on the call with us, and we will promote this group as well through our social media. But this special offer is only for people who are on the call today. For others, the price would be $147. So hopefully you take the offer and you will join today. We love to have you. Thank you so much for being with us. It was lovely to have you, your comments, your wisdom, everything that you shared, and we really hope to see you back. Do you want to give the dates for those sessions as well, Swapna?
The starting date, I believe, is April 14th, which is a Tuesday. So that's going to be our first session, April 14th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
So if you just want to put that in the chat, Heather.
I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah. So that's going to be our first session, April 14th. That's right, 14th, 21st, and 28th. So those are the 3 Tuesdays. Perfect. And 14th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when it starts. And it'll be a 90-minute live session. Awesome.
Yeah, yes, and it's for you to ask your question. If you have things that you wanted to be discussed in the session, feel free to put them in the chat box. And I think you can also communicate through the Zoom invite later, right, Swapna? Is that correct?
That's correct. And also, you can reach us. Maybe each one of us can put our emails in there. Heather, you want to put your email?
yes, sure.
I'm just going to type in my email as well. And Mandana, you too?
Yes, I'm doing that right now.
There we go. So you now have all our emails. So you are welcome to send any of us or all of us an email, shoot an email, and we would stay connected that way as well. And yeah, you're welcome, Amy.
Thank you.
So great to have you on the call, and thank you everyone who was on our call today. We had about 13 or 14 attendees at one point. So this was wonderful. I'm so happy that you were able to join us. So thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you on our coaching sessions starting April 14th.
Look forward to see you.
Lots of love to everyone. Thank you.
Lots of love. Yes.
Bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.